tonight by Tyler, not Allison. Of course, Allison's IBS issues are still a raging problem, so she's sending us the best of luck from the toilet. But here with us, as always, oh, whoops, let me make this not all about me. So here with us, as always, is the lovely Deb. How are you doing tonight, Deb?
I am fabulous, but hot. It is hot here.
She is hot in all the right ways. And speaking of hot in all the right ways, Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great tonight, Tyler. How are you guys doing?
Good. A little less hot because it's a little cooler here in New York City, but I can definitely understand the heat because Deb was like, before we came on live, she's like, "Oh, I'm down south, baby. It is hot," and I grew up in the south, so I totally understand that. So I'm usually a summer person, but I'm really ready for fall this year just because it's been so unforgiving. Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about here, and I've been really excited about this show in particular, just because we have just like so many different ways like the season could play out, and just the fluidity of this final five is just so exciting to me. Do you guys feel the same way about like where like the rest of the season is headed?
Yeah, because it's anybody's game, except for maybe one person that's leaving this week. And
yeah.
I see things go in one or two directions, and yeah, it's going to get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving after the first 4 weeks, like I was ready to jump ship the first 4 weeks.
Yeah,
and since
I think
then,
we all were.
It's been on an uphill. And I really thought by the time we got to 6, maybe 5, that it would kind of plateau. Oh, hell no. No.
I think the thing is that with Nicole, that for the first half of the game, you know, she was being bullied and separated from the group and lied about and used as a scapegoat and used as, you know, they blamed her for hinky votes and, you know, so, you know, she was terrified the first half of the game. And then once that big group started fighting amongst each other and they started taking each other out, the people that left over were the people that actually saw Nicole for the amazing person that she is. And they treated her with love and respect. And slowly but surely, she started to gain confidence. And then she won the HOH, and that really sealed it for her as far as confidence-wise. And then
absolutely.
And then
sorry, go ahead.
And then this week, we'll talk more about this week.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like right when Nicole won head of household in the double eviction when we last talked, of course, we saw everybody left in the game. They were so like just over the moon happy for Nicole, and to have that kind of support in an environment like the Big Brother house is it really just goes to show the character of Nicole and Cliff and how rootable they are as players left in the game. I mean, even Julie Chen Moonves, right when Nicole won, she couldn't help but usually she's like really robotic and stoic, but even Chenbot was like, "Congratulations, Nicole!" Like she was so just like over the moon excited for her as well. And so the last time we talked, of course, we saw Jessica and Christy walk out the door in the double eviction, and we were all really excited about what was going to happen. So just to recap what happened, of course, we saw Jackson win head of household on Sunday, and an amazing appearance by Swaley. I'm just kidding. I get to take or leave them. They're so awful. But so of course we saw Jackson win head of household. But of course, like what we're talking about you know, what happens with this power veto, right? Because Jackson puts up Cliff and Tommy on the block, you know, leaving Nicole is the only one not on the block. Or no, Nicole and Holly are the two not on the block. And Deb, you did manifest this. You were like, I want a Nicole power of veto win. That's what we want here, because then the possibility of Holly going out on Jackson's HOH, like that is just too juicy, too good to savor. And of course, what happened? Nicole won the power veto for the comics. Apparently, it was the ziplining power veto for the comics that they've done in the past seasons, and I'm really, really impressed that she was able to beat out Jackson, was able to beat out Tommy in this competition that is a little on the physical side.
And set a record.
What was the record?
She set the record. The previous record was Christine did it in season 16 at like 12 something.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicole beat her by about 40 seconds.
Wow, so, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it really is. But can I take a step back for a second?
Sure.
I know that there's no love lost where Swaley's concerned for you. During the season, during last season, I didn't like them at all. I didn't like his ego. I didn't care for how she was in the house. But since that time, for the most part, you know what? He's playing a character. And when he's, whatever the situation is, he is that character of Swaggy C. And he definitely plays that character. From what I understand from people that have met him and know him personally, he's a very, very nice person. Bailey, ever since she got out of the house, I think she's a very nice person. And you know what? People either love him or hate him, and the people that hate him, they come back at. And I would.
Yeah, I've met them both, and they were very gracious. They were very, very sweet.
Exactly. So
I just don't really care for like the stuff that they did with Kevin and that whole mess that we don't have to get into here. But
okay, but
that's my opinion.
But the fact that they had a comic book that was Swaggy C and the old man and the Swaggy C.
Yeah.
I thought that was maybe a little bit over the line for Big Brother production to do.
Mm-hmm.
Big Brother production has been a little shady this year.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Yeah, definitely. But I like the productions kind of loosening their belt a little bit, having a little more fun with things. And you're right. The fact that you're right. Like he is definitely playing like a big character, and that's why casting and production loves them and keeps bringing them back, keeps giving them attention. The fact that I have and so many people on Twitter have such a strong reaction out of them, that means that they are good casting. You know, bad casting is people that we really just like don't care about either way, like Jessica. But you know, Swaggy and Bailey, they are entertaining television, so I will give them that. But so of course we saw Nicole win that power of veto. I really want to break this down with the two of you because I really love the strategy talk that we've been having this season and just going like really back and forth about this really exciting, fluid endgame. Of course, we saw for those that are not spoiler friendly or who didn't know who are living under a rock, which I'm sure you know if you're watching this show. But of course, Nicole took Cliff off with the power of veto, so Jackson had to renom Holly in Cliff's place. So now we have Cliff and Tommy on the block, and Nicole and Cliff are the two votes to evict this week. So the question is, and I was telling Deb right before we went live, I don't think I've ever seen the Big Brother fandom this like split like 50-50 on like, should Cliff and Nicole take out Holly? Should Cliff and Nicole take out Tommy? And I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on this.
Kim, first.
Okay. Well, no, go ahead, Deb. I'm going to plug in my earbuds. I don't want to.
Okay. I personally think they should take out Holly this week and break up the showmance because Holly is really good at competitions. She needs to go. You need to break up the showmance. Never, ever leave a showmance left at the end game because they are going to take each other. And the other thing is that at this point in the game, of course, Jackson can't play for HOH next round. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of screwed because also the next veto is probably going to be a memory or days kind of thing, which he's screwed because he has been screwing Holly all season. He didn't have time to study because he's inside Holly's vagina all season. So he's not going to be able to save himself next week. And then he'll go and it'll just be down to Tommy, Cliff, and Nicole. And the thing is, if you bring Cliff to the end, you have the excuse of saying, well, you were evicted already. So that's kind of like a strike against him. So Cliff
Yep.
is...
It is in my book.
Well, it is. And, I don't know how many Big Brother purists are on the jury, but, it does... It is a problem. And then Tommy, I don't know, does Nicole and Cliff know yet about Tommy and Christy knowing each other?
Not yet.
Okay, but don't you think that they are going to use that against him before she gets voted out to try?
They should. They really should.
Exactly. So, which is also, good to keep in mind to take him to the end, because then you can make the point. If he gets to the end, he had an unfair advantage the whole game by, having a secret partner in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's basically my thinking. I would definitely take out Holly to break up the showmats.
Kim, what do you think?
You know what? I agree with you on taking out Holly, not necessarily for the same reasons. Holly's not good at competitions. Hello, she rolled a ball and she hung on the vines. So physical, she did. She hasn't done anything mental. Hello, she got 0 on the posters on the BB Flicks and Chill. She's done. She was one of the first 2 out on the one prior to that, where the one that Nicole won, or the one that Cliff won, the POV. So it's like, you know what? She really is not. Neither one of them are good at the mental competitions. And of course, she's bringing up that she was in an accident and suffered a brain injury. I just find it interesting that came up at 84 days or 82 days, I think it was 2 days ago. So she's never used it as an excuse up till now. As far as, has Tommy told him? No, Tommy has not told them. And Cliff and Nicole do not know about the Tommy Christie relationship. Depending on how they swing that, though, one of 2 things. Tommy is an idiot for not telling them. Tommy needs to tell them. And I posted on Twitter and I said, Tommy just needs to go in and say, I'm sure you guys are aware that I've known Christy since preschool. And, oh, wait, you don't know that? Jackson and Holly didn't tell you that? I let them know that a few days ago. If they didn't tell you that, what else are they not telling you? Mic drop. Exactly. You've put in doubt and paranoia where Holly and Jackson are concerned. As far as beyond Final Four, I don't think. Okay, I think Holly's going to go into jury, and she's going to let them know. Now they may already know from Christy, in which case they're like, "Yeah, okay, we're already there." They may not know and hear that from Holly and go, wait, I got voted out by a pair. And that could very, very easily turn them against Jackson.
I totally agree with that. And this person, Blue Skull 419, they point out the jury will laugh at Holly and then by extension Jackson when she tells them about Tommy's secret. They will ask why she didn't tell that to Cliff and Nicole. She will have no answer. LMAO.
Yeah, exactly. And Jackson might say something later on, but I can see both sides of it, and I can see why it's split. If you're looking at the short-term game, you're better off getting rid of Tommy, because knowing that you've got a pretty good shot on anything that's luck and anything that's a mental challenge or anything like that, you have just as good of a chance. My justification on why I would not take Holly, why I would get rid of her right now, is because going into Final Four, if you go with Jackson and Holly, you're 50-50 on, well, you've got 66. Each person has a 33% chance of getting HOH, but it's 50-50 on getting the POV, and that's what really counts in Final Four. If you go with Tommy, especially with all his deals, even if he's lying through his teeth and is going to get rid of Cliff or Nicole, primarily Cliff, you're still at the same odds as if it were Holly. It's still 50-50. But
Tommy,
if
Tommy said he's going to throw the HOH, though.
That's what he said. He's going to throw the HOH.
That's what he says.
Again, it's what he says. But what I'm saying is, even if he doesn't stay true to his word, you've got a better chance of getting Tommy on your side than getting Holly on your side if Holly were to stay. So that's my main reason. And then plus going into then final three, if Nicole and Cliff are still in after final four, let's say they get rid of Jackson, which, to be honest with you, I don't think that's the best move. I think they're better off getting rid of Tommy at final three, or at final four, I mean. But let's just say, okay, they're scared, they're intimidated by Jackson, so they get rid of him, and it's Tommy, Cliff, and Nicole. Nicole has just as good a chance as Tommy on all three of them, actually, on mentals, okay?
Yeah.
On physical, I don't see where Tommy outdoes Nicole. He could, but there's three parts. Okay.
It's pretty even with them too.
So I could see Tommy Nicole winning parts 1 and 2. And if Nicole wins, I have the feeling she would take Cliff because, well, number one, smart move. Number two, loyalty. And if Tommy wins, I think he brings Nicole. If Jackson's still in the mix and they were to vote out Tommy, for example, let's say he wins POV and takes out Cliff or Tommy, he'd take out Tommy, I think. And Jackson takes Nicole. I do not see any way that Nicole does not make final two.
Amazing. That is amazing.
This is so hard. Well,
you went from having the door shut in your face by Jackson and the other 8 in there, 9 of them all together, literally closing the door on her to, I really don't see any scenarios where she is not final two.
And there's another thing that I forgot to mention as far as if Jackson gets to final two, you can use the argument of him cheating during have-nots, which
doesn't really affect the game itself. I don't think it would affect the game, and they all know it.
It affects the integrity of the game.
Of course it does, but they already all know that. So that's not any deep, dark secret. That's probably not something I would necessarily bring up. And especially knowing Nicole's not going to bring something like that up.
That's true.
She's not going to go. I think she's going to present more on her game and where she went from the beginning to the end, as opposed to he's a slime ball and spent more time, screwing in the shower. Speaking of which, by the way, did you know they were in the shower this afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that's her way of fixing things. That's her way of fixing. Like she asked him to shower. Yeah,
her way. But no, today he asked her to take a shower, and and my thought process on it is, remember Jackson just gave them the green light to vote out Holly last night. He was like, yeah, it'd be a smart move and I would totally understand if you did. So I think he was going for the last shower screw, knowing she's not going to be here tomorrow.
Right.
All right. So we have a bunch of comments and conversation going on in the chat, and I just want to welcome and thank everybody for tuning in with us and chatting with us, because this is all so exciting. I want to point out this comment or this question. If the bullhorn didn't happen where fans revealed that Tommy and Christy know each other, would the final 5 be any different than it is? So it's... Well, the bullhorn really didn't do too much. It was really Tommy telling Jackson and Holly because he was afraid or just trying to kiss their ass or something so he could maybe not be nominated or something. I'm really not sure the purpose behind that game move. But I think the how this final 5 plays out differently now is that there's a little bit more pressure on Holly and Jackson to either rise to the occasion and do something with this information to save Holly, or to kind of fall by the wayside. And I think that that's more so where it's going right now. Like they really haven't figured out that, we can use this information to our advantage, tell Cliff and Nicole this, and take the final acts to the Tommy and Christy pair that's been so powerful and so prominent this game.
But they don't care. They don't care. They think they are solid with Cliff and Nicole. They're not. She's not campaigning at all. But in regard to that question, I don't think it'd make any difference at all, because the only ones outside when the bullhorn happened were Cliff and Tommy. And I think that's one of the reasons, and Tommy shouldn't be so petty about this, because Cliff could have told everybody and didn't. Yeah. Tommy should actually be kind of thankful for Cliff. Otherwise, I think Tommy or Christy would have been out way earlier.
So I wanna give my take now that I've heard the two of you guys, because mine's a little different. Shocker. I think that they should take out Tommy here. And this is why. So I think that Tommy is of course, like I think Nicole beats anybody at Final 2 at this point. I think that she's very likable. She's split up Tommy and Christy. She's won another competition. She's really solidified herself as this really strong late game player that reminds me a lot of Paris from Big Brother Canada 6, but we'll come back to that in just a second. The next biggest jury threat to win the game, in my opinion, is Tommy. So say we take out Holly here. So the like such an important competition that we talked about last week is that Final 4 veto. If we have Jackson and Holly competing in that power veto, Holly's really not going to win it. Like it would come down to Jackson most likely. The only competitions that we've really seen Holly win are endurance competitions, which are never like a Final 4 veto competition, right? I say that like keep Holly, take out Tommy, who is much more likely to win that Final 4 veto than Holly is. I think the path for Cliff and Nicole to win out and get themselves to the end is by taking out Tommy here, that bigger comp beast, that bigger jury threat at the end. Of course, Final 3 would be Jackson, Nicole, and Cliff. They just steamroll at that point. It doesn't even matter if Jackson wins the final HOH. I think Cliff or Nicole wins against Jackson because he really hasn't done too much powerful, good game moves during his HOH reigns. Whereas Tommy, he has a lot of friends sitting on that jury. Christy's going to be a huge campaigner for his game and really influencing that jury. And Christy is a very influential person in the Big Brother 21 house. She has been the entire season up until she was taken out by Nicole. So why I'm just so scared if I were them of Tommy being in Final 3 and sliding his way to Final 2. I think that it's much more difficult for them to win against Tommy. I think Nicole still wins against Tommy, but I think it's a lot tighter. It's a lot closer. It's a lot harder of a call than it would be for Nicole to be against Jackson in Final 2. So that's why I think we take out Tommy here. The only downside to that is, by taking out Tommy instead of taking a shot at Holly and Jackson here, is that it kind of makes Nicole and Cliff seem like they have been riding the coattails of Jackson and Holly, where that's not the case, but that's how it appears. They could have taken a swing at them during the double eviction, but they didn't. They could have taken a swing at them here at this Final 5, but they didn't, right? So that is in my opinion, the only kind of negative drawback to this. But
and that's what Christy's talking about in the jury house, right? So that's why they need to send Holly out.
I don't know. I think that Holly's much more beatable than Tommy.
I don't think Tommy's unbeatable at all.
I don't think that he's unbeatable. That's not what I'm saying. I think it's just a harder path to victory with him still in the game compared to Holly still in the game. At this point, it comes down to competition win. Sorry, go ahead, Kim.
Am I cutting out? Or is Tyler?
You're freezing up a little.
You just have a little delay.
I am?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what I can do on that.
I just want to mention while she's doing that, did Holly and Jackson kind of ruin their game by showering. Lately, they have been showering an awful lot. And, at the end game, it's not a good idea to separate yourself from the herd in the middle of the day to go shower.
Well, remember we remember like earlier this season, like we were so high on Holly and her positioning in this game and her social game and her connections, and she's really done a bad job at kind of like isolating herself to Jackson. And ultimately, whether she gets evicted on Thursday or at Final Four, Final Three, whatever, this is her downfall in this game, because we were such big cheerleaders of Holly. Myself in particular, I said like all season long, like, watch out for Holly. She's one to watch, and she's just really, unfortunately, drawn flat here, which is another reason for why I think they should keep her over Tommy.
And apparently, a discussion about Jackson going on the challenge led to all of this showering. I do try to keep the peace. So apparently they were talking about the challenge, and she was mentioning that the challenge is nothing more than a, great big old fuck fest.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Jackson wants to go on the challenge, because he wants to be in the great big old fuck fest.
No, for the competitions. He wants to go on there for the competitions.
Yeah, sure. And so then that's when the fight started. And it lasted. It's still going on. I think it's still going on. She's still rehashing it over and over and over again. And, she's been crying for the last 3 days. And then, they shower to make up.
Now, the fact that she was pretty much hammered on the 4 bottles of wine that they received did not help the situation at all.
No.
I would say if I'm in the Big Brother house, I'm not drinking any alcohol, because
she was a sloppy drunk.
That can literally be a $500,000 bottle of wine, and I can drink a lot cheaper than that once the summer's over.
Exactly. You do not cloud your mind with alcohol while you're in the Big Brother house, and you do not, in the end game, separate yourself from the herd to give them bitches a chance to conspire against you.
Exactly. The great
they did. Yes.
But
you let them. Yeah.
I want to talk about this end game a little bit more, just because we have so much to unpack here. And I don't know. I'm just so torn about this. And usually I'm like very like stern on my opinions, and like, no, it definitely needs to go this way. But I really understand where you guys are coming from with this whole, like, I think that Holly should be the one evicted. And ultimately, it's really going to come down to whoever wins these competitions coming up. It's so important for, for literally everybody left in the game has to win these competitions to get there.
Well,
it's crazy.
If Tommy does throw the HOH this Thursday, it's either going to be Cliff or Nicole as HOH, which is good because that solidifies their, final 3 spot. And then it's up to, the rest of them for the veto. And I kind of don't see Jackson winning this veto. I just don't.
Right. But would you see Holly winning that veto?
No.
Would you see Tommy potentially winning that veto?
It could happen.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
And he swears that he would be voting out Jackson. He wants Jackson out.
He's terrified of Jackson.
And Tommy's in final 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tommy's in final 3. He could easily get to final 2.
No, he'd have a third of a chance of getting to final 2. And like I said, I think that he and Nicole will split the first 2 challenges. And I could see Nicole beating him in the last one.
That's true.
I could see Nicole very easily actually beating him in the last one. She knows the dates and the challenges and everything else just as well as he does.
Yeah, but the last one is always like a crapshoot. Like it's like those like jury like answering
what the jury said.
Yeah, and that's always like such a crapshoot.
Right, but and who was it over here? Somebody said, about Christy being influential in the jury house. I've got to agree with the comment over here, Joseph. Right here? Yeah, exactly. she and Tommy, okay, she's only influential as long as Tommy, no, she's not influential. Sorry, she's not. Who's she going to influence? Okay, keeping in mind that people have talked about her, the first 4 people, at least before her coming in. And somebody's going to come in, and if she has not already told them that her and Tommy knew each other, if I were in jury, I'd be pissed that I got voted out because those two know each other and did not know. And that would be enough to make me vote against Tommy.
I don't know. I don't think
Chrissy
that
can keep her mouth shut.
So no. I think that Tommy would easily have Nick's vote. He would easily have Chrissy's vote, of course.
Wait, hold on. Tommy would have Nick's vote over who?
Over anybody, I think.
No. Nicole.
Tommy and Nick were so close.
Nicole have Nick's vote.
You think so?
Absolutely, especially with those 2
I
big
don't
wins.
know.
Okay, here, let's compare. Who went home on Tommy's watch?
On Tommy's watch? Like he didn't have an HOH.
Yeah, he had one HOH.
When was that?
Yeah,
I'm like
exactly.
drawing a blank.
Yeah, he
exactly.
had an HOH.
Was it Kat that went home on his?
I'm drawing a blank on when he was ever HOH.
Yeah, he won the one with the boat thing.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
he went on his birthday. It was his birthday.
No, Jess didn't go home on Tommy's. Jess went home on Jackson's, because Jackson's stellar resume, he took out Sis and Jess. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's so lame.
Tommy, I think, took out Kat. Oh, Sam. Oh, that's right. Day 44.
Yeah, you were right that Kat went home on Tommy's HOH.
Sam went home on Tommy's HOH, day 44, right?
No, it was Catherine.
Okay, so Kat went home on Tommy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What had Kat done at that point?
Screw Jackson. That's pretty much it.
In week 1. And then you've got his POV. What did he do with his POVs? He saved Christy. How is this a resume builder? It's not. Did he have a great social game? Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody loves Tommy. Does everybody love Tommy more than Nicole?
Not at this point. And that's why I say, like, I think Nicole beats anybody at Final 2 at this point. I just think that people are rooting for Tommy a little bit more than they're rooting for Jackson. I think so. I think that people are actively trying to look for reasons not to vote for Jackson. And I don't see the same for Tommy.
Tommy and Jackson. I'm confused.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The reason that I think Tommy should be voted out here is because I think Nicole's win is easier against Jackson or against Holly than it is against Tommy, in my opinion.
Oh, at Final 4.
At Final 2, like if Nicole is sitting next to Jackson, it's an easier win for her than it is against Tommy, in my opinion.
I think it's an easy win either way. I
think so too, but it's just a little bit harder of a road. We have a question from Kurt. Very specific yes or no question. Do you guys think that evicting Holly will definitely cost Cliff and Nicole the potential jury votes of Holly and Jackson? What do you guys think about that?
No.
I don't think so either, because we're down to such the wire here that I think that game is really going to respect game.
With this jury, I don't think game's going to respect game, but I think that Jackson specifically, he brought it up at the beginning. She was so dumb. She was looking at throwing the HOH because she did not realize that she could potentially go home on Jackson's watch. And then even once Nicole won POV and they figured it out in the bathroom, and they figured it out, and it was like, oh shit, I'm going to be the nominee on your HOH watch. Yeah, no shit. That's exactly what's happening. So I think that Holly might be a little bit bitter. I think Kat will get her past that. And Jackson, I don't think he's going to be bitter at all, because he even said this would be their best move. If I were in their position, this is what I would do.
We have another question from Tracy Burke. How about the Final Four handshake? Holly did get Cliff and Nicole through the double eviction. So of course, like Nicole shook their hands. Jackson and Holly saying that like we're gonna go to the end together. Like this is like the Final Four, blah blah blah. And a lot of people are really coming down on Nicole for like maybe going like against this handshake. It's $500,000. It is whatever it takes. Like
all she has to do is own her move. If she tries to sidestep it and say, "Well, it wasn't really a handshake," even though it was, although it actually wasn't when they were making the deal. There was no handshake. The videos that are out there on Twitter, take a look at who the pictures are of on the dresser behind them. The handshake was when Holly was HOH. Okay. The deal was when Jackson was HOH. There was no handshake. Yeah. So she can legit say that. Personally, I think it's kind of a wussy way out, but I think she should own it and say, I specifically did not shake your hands. Holly, you brought it up. I didn't. So, yeah.
And Nicole's the kind of person that does own anything that if she does something, she's going to own it.
Yeah. And she should.
I don't see that being a problem as her not owning her game or whatever she did. And this is the end game. You got to do whatever sketchy shit you got to do to get to the end game. And it's a game.
I don't know about you guys, but if I were ever in the Big Brother house, which will never happen because I'm an actual real person, I would swear on my grandmother. I would swear on the Bible. I would swear on anything. And, to quote Sandra in Survivor Pearl Islands, yes, I swear on my 2 kids that I will lie and vote your ass out. That is totally my school of thought when it comes to these games. Whatever it takes to win to the end, as long as you own that shit at the end. If you try to like villainize or kind of make excuses for the things that you've done instead of owning it, that's when you get like a Tyler or a Paul type of situation. You have to go into the end and be like, you know what, you're right, I did do that. Because it's a game and you were my biggest threat and I was scared of you and I had to take you out. And I hope you respect me as enough of a player as I respected you and the threat that you were to this game. And I hope that you reward that, game, beat game,
Right. Yeah.
What's the past sense of beat?
So you own the thing that you did, but then you blow sunshine up their ass by telling them how good they were.
Yes.
You got to stay free.
I know. I was looking at it going, that's Holly's pictures back there in that handshake.
Yeah.
That's not the night of the deal.
So Kurt brings up a good point. He said, Tyler, didn't Dan do that in Big Brother 14 and get smoked? No. So Dan really did a pretty poor job with jury management. And Ian just like totally just like smoked him in that final final 2 speeches where Dan really just he took credit for being this like huge villain. He was like, I had no other choice but to be the villain. And, he didn't really like give the people he took out credit is his problem in Big Brother 14. He said like, he made all about himself, how great of a player he was. And yes, he is like the best player to ever play this game. Sure. However, you still have to like lick the wounds of the jury a little bit and say like, you know what, I got here because I had to beat the best of the best, and that's you. So please vote for me in the end. And that's where he failed, and that's where Ian succeeded.
Yeah. But
validate the jury.
If any of them do that and say that to Jess, then they will lose the rest of the votes of the jury.
I mean, that's where you say, like,
and-
Jess, you took out like the biggest player of the season with Jack. You made such a big move, and you had like such a great social game that lasted you pretty long into the game. I don't know, that's what I would say to Jess.
Yeah, but with someone like Holly, it's going to be a matter. She's fragile. Holly's broken. She's definitely fragile.
Yeah.
And if they look at it going, they can't just compliment her, because again, everyone's gonna know it's bullshit. But if they position it, whoever's in the final two positions it, that she was part of a strong pair that spent literally a month in the HOH room going back and forth, therefore there was no choice. Your resume was too big against me. I had to take you out. You were part of this power duo. Your resume was strong. So you need to build her. She's the one you need to build up as an individual, as opposed to being, swinging from Jackson's dick. You just can't leave it alone like that, because that's already what she thinks of herself.
And that's the thing. We don't see enough jury recognition in the end. Like, when they're making their speeches, they are talking about themselves, just all about themselves, and forgetting about the jury, because the jury doesn't want to be the jury. They want to be sitting where you are. And you need to take that time to address each and every single one of those people in the jury and validate them.
Yeah, validate. That is a great word, Deb. And I think back, I reference Andy from Big Brother 15 a lot when it comes to really successful like final jury speeches. He just did an amazing, like Todd Herzog from Survivor China levels of just like amazing jury management. And that's what we need to see to really like seal the deal and win the game.
Well, and I think that Nicole has done excellent jury management in that she's very sincere. She is sincere. She's not pretending to be sincere. And they know that.
Yes.
Cliff with that Texas thing going on, you know what? Even when he is sincere, it does not always come across that way. But at the same time, he has built relationships along the way here. He's built relationships with Jackson, not necessarily Holly. I don't think Cliff and Holly, but Nicole has kind of. I don't know. Holly, again, she has played probably one of the worst games to get to Final Five that I've ever seen in Big Brother.
Yeah, it's really a shame because, like I said, like we have been not rooting, but pointing out that like she had it really good. She was in a really good spot for a long time in this game, and it's just a shame that she took the D over 500,000, and not a very good D at that. Do you guys see any path to victory for Cliff? Speaking of, or is he kind of drawing dead at this point too? Because I think that he is.
I think Cliff has potential over Jackson. I think Jackson, to be honest with you, I think Jackson loses to whomever he's up there with. I don't think he wins in any way, shape, or form. So that's really the only way that I see Cliff winning, is if he's in a final two with Jackson.
Yeah. And plus, Cliff got voted out, and that's a really strong argument to throw out there.
You know, I'd be making that argument if I were in the jury.
You know what? And Tracy's got a great point over here. She's like, she feels like the jury management has been going on all season, and that the gameplay has suffered in some cases because of it.
That's the mark of good players, in my opinion.
I don't know that the gameplay itself has suffered, especially like from 7 on. I think that for the most part, they've been going for it, with the exception of Jackson and Holly, who had a crazy idea that they could throw 2 HOHs in a row, and then came out saying, Holly saying, well, I was going to throw this, but it's like, seriously, 7 on you do not throw HOHs.
Or
You
vetoes.
just don't.
Or vetoes.
Or vetoes. You just don't.
Unless
And
your name is Dr. O, but not in modern Big Brother, that's for sure.
I just
No,
want to
and-
mention, I just want to
Yeah.
mention, Tracy, that jury management starts on day one when you walk in the house.
That's true.
Always.
And Jackson fucking cat. And then turning around and Holly gets sloppy seconds here.
Mhm.
That's no bueno jury management.
Yeah.
You don't get yourself into a love triangle in the Big Brother house where you cannot get out of the house. You can't do it. So I don't know. And my only exception to that, to throwing a veto, is depending on if you've got a ride or die, like a Cliff and Nicole, where they are each other's ride or die. I could see the stronger one throwing to the weaker one to be HOH so that you can play in Final Four. That's about the only time that I would go, that's a smart move. But boy, you better trust that person with your $500,000.
Yeah. Well, Nicole and Cliff know that they can trust each other.
Yeah, but I think that Cliff is paving the road a little bit too much for Nicole's victory here.
I think that he's setting it up for Nicole to get voted out.
You think so?
He's making Nicole look like Mother Teresa over here, and all of a sudden now she's a comp beast, and everybody loves her and all this, and he's pointing this out. He's pointing out to everybody Nicole's pretty much a lock on Final Two. So if mentally I'm Tommy or Jackson and I'm going, she's pretty much a lock. Her resume beats mine. Her social game beats mine or is equal to mine. Maybe need to get rid of Nicole, not Cliff, at 3.
I don't know.
I can just listen to the stuff that Cliff has said, and you will see he's planting seeds. He's not saying, hey, get rid of Nicole. You're going to lose to her. He is not coming out with any of that.
Yeah.
But he's planting and he won't. You're right. But he's planting these little teeny tiny seeds that either will keep Nicole from being in Final Two in place of Cliff when they think that they can beat him, or he just handed Nicole $500,000 because whoever ends up in jury is going to be like, yeah, even Cliff knew that Nicole has this one. Yeah.
Have you guys both watched Big Brother Canada 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that if Nicole wins, she is like the same exact type of winner as Paris. And we even have a comparison of Derek and Kayla to Jackson and Holly. I think that this end game is so similar to Big Brother Canada 6, which is one of my favorite seasons of Big Brother, and that's why it's so exciting for me. And I don't know, guys. I don't know about you guys and where you guys are like personally rooting for, but I'm all in on Nicole at this point, and I think that I think she's gonna pull it out. I really do.
I would be so happy with that.
Yeah.
I'd be very, very happy with her as a winner. In fact, I'd be happy with Cliff, Nicole, or Tommy. Any of the 3 of them winning the game. Yeah. I'm not going to be disappointed because I know what it took for them to get there at the end. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to be happiest for Nicole just because I like it when a nice person wins.
Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, Tracy, you were saying there's a clip on Twitter of Cliff throwing the HOH. Yes, he kind of did because he picked up the puzzle piece that he had in place and moved it. But at that point, she was already at the last puzzle piece. She was gonna win it anyway. But yes, he did kind of throw it. Yeah.
Tracy says, I love Big BB Can 6, but I'm a Kayla fan. Tracy, you will find no bigger of a Kayla fan than me right here. However, I will say that I personally would have voted for Kayla in the end there. However, I still respect the hell out of Paris's game, and I think that she equally deserved to pull it out. I really hope that say it's I don't know, Nicole and Tommy or Nicole and Cliff in final 2. I hope they're screaming at the TV
No,
like parents.
no, that's not going to
I
happen.
deserve to win
No.
this season. Like
No.
that, there was
No.
No.
come on,
They
guys,
are
there
so
was
much more dignified than that.
there was so much passion and just like love for the game and just this like fiery energy that we don't see in Big Brother US contestants. So
Do they not have microphones?
Not in a while. But you know what? That passion might come out a little bit, but Cliff is pretty subdued. I could see Nicole being very passionate in her final jury speech. I think that she would be. And I think at that point, Cliff would have to step up or hand her the check.
For me, I did not see that as passion. I saw that as aggression.
Yeah, Holly and Jackson aren't going to be a final 2.
Yeah.
Is there any path to? Well, I love this comment. Best final 2 speeches ever. Scream Queens. I love that. Is there? Do you guys see any path to victory for Holly and Jackson?
No.
I don't either. I think that Kim. I think you're right on the money that we're looking at a Nicole, Cliff, or Tommy HOH win. So either way, I'm very excited and happy for how this season has played out. You know, of course, we did have that rough start at the beginning with hashtag MinorityGate, everybody leaving. But that's the price that we paid to have like an exciting end game, I guess. And unfortunately, like it had to be that way. But I'm glad that the season at least turned around in regards to strategy. And you know who I thank for that is Queen Jessica. If she didn't win that HOH and take out Jack, we could be looking at a very, very different season of Big Brother right now.
And funny, Queen Jessica, she was completely clueless. Yeah, she made a great move taking out Jack, but for the rest of the game, she was just like dead from here up.
Yeah,
I don't even know. She had no idea where she was and what game she was playing.
Yeah, no, I hated the beginning of the season also for the same reasons.
I think we all did. It was awful.
But at the same time, I think there's a lot of people that, because of what happened at the beginning, are painting pictures of people that don't exist now. A very, very good example might be last night, for example, Cliff. Okay, first of all, I've never seen a pre-juror as many people obsess on a pre-juror as this group on Kemi. Like literally her name comes out of their mouth every single day, somehow, some way. But last night they were talking about their first impressions and what was their game plan coming in and things like that. And Cliff made the comment and he said, I wanted to align with somebody who was the opposite, complete opposite of me, which I'm an older white man, would make that a younger African-American female. And he said, but he and Kemi didn't hit it off. They just did not click. So he didn't feel that that was a good match. Jessica, on the other hand, he felt that click with her. So it had, that comment in itself really had nothing to do with, it wasn't so much a racially motivated comment that he made, just saying, hey, I was going to align with the opposite. Well, the clip that comes out on Twitter is saying, Cliff saying, yeah, I was looking to align with a black girl. What? It's like, okay, that's like a
game of telephone.
Yeah, that was a 3-second snippet. Give us the 5 minutes that preceded and proceeded it, because that gives you the full picture. They did the same thing to Tommy's family, because with that clip of when someone brought up, his cousin or whatever brought up Nicole, and her mom or his mom in the background was like, she's not going to be welcome in our house. But that's the only little teeny tiny piece they put in. The whole conversation was actually really complimentary towards Nicole. So the people and the way they're cutting apart these clips and posting them to paint a picture that is not true. You know, I mean, that's like you photoshopping a bride up in the air in a wedding picture with the groom crouched down. Well, wait, he didn't actually throw her up in the air, but she was jumping down towards him off that short wall over there. Two different things.
Right.
Two different things. And so I think that picture is being painted for a lot of players. That's just two examples.
Well, I think that it goes, every way. Everybody's going to try to paint somebody else in a bad light because, that's not the person that you're rooting for. I see a lot of Nicole hate on Twitter because the people are saying, oh, Nicole was lazy and she didn't do anything. And the thing was that Nicole was bullied, ostracized. She was not in the big giant 8-9 group. She was, in with her little clique of 3 people. She was lied on. She was, used as a scapegoat. And it's just like, no, that's not and she was never picked for vetoes. So
and Joseph's even saying it over here. Of course they didn't. Jack told them to leave Kemi, Ovi, and David alone, which was more so because they were camp. I prefer to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to assume it's because it was camp comeback as opposed to anything racially motivated. Do I think that there were racial undertones? Absolutely, 100%. So, unfortunately, we can't unring that bell from the beginning of the season, but I'll tell you what, the rest of the season, gameplay itself, I think has been phenomenal. Strategy has been 50% phenomenal, but the fluidity of the game is what I'm loving this season because we don't, right now we're at Final 5. We do not know who can get to Final 2 or how they can get there.
So many different paths to victory for everybody left in this game, except for maybe Holly.
Well, Holly, bye. I'm wondering if anyone's going to let her know tonight or tomorrow that they're not keeping her.
Well, here's the thing: it's only Tuesday. There's still plenty of time for them to change their minds too. We've already seen them go back and forth a couple times, so we still very well could see Tommy walk out the door on Thursday.
We could, yeah.
So we shall see, but what a finish that would be if Tommy goes. Gosh, that would be really cut and dry rooting for good versus evil here. But
again, I think that's what made the end of this so good is the fluidity and the fact that even though we're watching the feeds, we're hearing the conversations, we know what they're saying, we know what they're thinking, we know what they're camera talking, but we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's huge.
And I was talking. My grandmother was the one who got me into the show. The first season I watched with her was Big Brother 8, and I just fell in love with it. So I had dinner with her last week on vacation, and she told me that she likes this season better than Big Brother 20. And I want to ask you guys: do you guys agree with that? Are you guys liking this season better than Big Brother 20?
I do.
And feel free to answer this in the chat as well, everybody that's listening along.
The first half was a little hard to watch with all the racial undertones going on. That was hard to watch, all the bullying and stuff like that. I have a hard time with that. But the second half of the game definitely picked up and, the gameplay was interesting.
Yeah.
Once camp comeback was done, I agree with your grandmother. Once camp comeback was done, there were things that were uncomfortable, but hello, it's Big Brother, and we see it every season to different degrees. But from then on, I think it's been way better than season 20.
So I liked the cast of Big Brother 20 better than the cast of Big Brother 21, pound for pound, character for character. But as somebody who loves the strategy so much, I have to agree with you guys that it's just so much more fun when there's just as much fluidity as there has been in this end game, and that's really hard to argue with, rather than us just coming on the show twice a week and talking about Tyler in Big Brother 20 for an hour and a half. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so much better, so much more fluid. So Yeah, so Joseph just said this in the chat. 20, we knew Tyler was getting to the end. 21 is wide open. That's
agreed. That's perfect.
Totally agree. Yep. And Tracy said when Jack left the game, it seemed a lot changed. So thank you, Queen Jessica, for that.
Well, I mean, Jackson was tolerable. He's been tolerable for the most part since Jack left. And I don't know if that's because of production or if that's because sometimes people are toxic with each other.
Exactly.
And I think that is Jack and Jackson. One can make a bad comment, the other one ups it. They play off of each other on it. Yeah. And it's just a very toxic thing to watch. Once Jack was out, and it could have been Jackson. If Jackson had been out, I venture to guess that Jack might not have been quite as toxic. Jackson's actually been tolerable, but
we could see Jack and Annalise here instead of Jackson and Holly, if that alternate universe existed.
But I'm not going to forget what he said and did before Jack left, though.
Yes.
He's definitely has some questions to answer.
Rory says, and I love this comment, give me a Big Brother 20 pre-jury and Big Brother 21 jury phase, and it's one of the best. I totally agree with this. I mean, Big Brother 20 pre-jury is very hard to beat in terms of like the power app, the Swaley drama, of course, the legendary Big Brother All-Stars 2 future winner, Caitlin Herman. Just so many like crazy And Kurt, even though he's down on the season, he says the end of the season is exciting. So it looks like we're all on the same page here in terms of we're all very excited to see this play out. And it's I don't want to bite my tongue, but it's great to see hopefully a quote unquote good person win the season.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I think for the most part that Cliff is a good person. I think for the most part that Holly's broken, but is a good person. I think Tommy's a good person, actually. Yes. When you go and look at any of his Instagram videos and he's bubbles and sunshine, he's a Broadway actor. He is going to, it's not like a movie actor. He's a Broadway actor. He will make everything bigger because it's a stage. And that is that's his personality. And you cannot fault him for that.
He's a very likable person.
And Jackson, even though I question whether he's actually I don't actually question whether he's a good person or not.
He's not.
I actually think that he is potentially a good person. Stupid little things like getting Nicole's music. She didn't ask him for that. Or, when he's good to Holly, he's really good to Holly. When he's bad to Holly, he's really, really bad to Holly.
Yeah, so, I just think that he's young and has a lot of growing up to do.
He's stupid. He's 24.
And just like his mother's behavior just like totally explains like how he's grown up to be the person that he is.
Yeah, and like you said, with him being toxic with Jack, I think that he's like that with everybody. He plays off their energies. And with Nicole is a pure soul. So for him, he's really good with Nicole because she is pure of heart. So
well, although she says she's evil. She did say that. Evil Nicole.
In the game. She's playing the game.
Evil Nicole is more pure and innocent than a good day with Jackson.
That's just trying to villainize your competition. So like when you go to cut them, like it's easier to justify that. That's all that is.
Yeah, you have to make yourself look like shit up until
And Joseph, you're absolutely right. Big Brother was Tommy's stage, or it still is. The big laughters and flipping the legs and spreading them as an attention whore in the DR make me crazy in the head because I don't think it's necessarily relevant to the game. But he's
competing for America's favorite player. Speaking of that, who do you guys think is? I think Nicole's got America's favorite player in the bag.
I hope she wins both. It'd be amazing.
Can you win both? I don't think so.
You can. Yeah, you can.
Can?
Yeah.
Who won both? Who?
I don't think anybody won both.
No, but
Josh didn't.
it came close with Tyler. Tyler won last year, right?
No, Casey won.
No,
No. Tyler won the America's.
Tyler won AFP.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So he was in the finale. So
That's not,
Actually,
that's
I
not
don't
who I
think
voted for,
so.
I'll tell you that. Or maybe it was Brett.
I don't think you can win the game. I don't think you can win both the game and AFP.
I don't think so either, Kim. I think you're right.
I think AFP, no, because when Jordan won, America's favorite player was somebody else.
Jeff won Big Brother 11's America's favorite player.
Yeah.
He won it twice. He won it in 11 and 13.
In 14.
13.
Yeah. 13. Was it 13?
It was 13. That's one of my favorite seasons, which is a very unpopular opinion, but
No,
I love Big Brother 13.
So yeah, no, I don't think you can win the game. I think if you won America's favorite player and then you turn around and you win the game, it's going to go to the second place person, if I remember.
Yeah, I could have sworn I seen it on Twitter from somebody from CBS that said that they can win. I just don't. I think it was Robin. I think maybe it was Robin.
Well, whatever Robin Cassidy goes, obviously.
I'll take her word on it.
People are saying Ross was the runner-up and won AFP. Like, runner-up is different from winner, though. But yeah, there's been. Go ahead, Ken.
There's been quite a few in the final two that got AFP, but they didn't win the game.
Yeah. Miriam is saying, I think last year Big Brother allowed the winner can be AFP. So maybe that's what you're remembering, Deb. Maybe they changed that.
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, I heard it somewhere, and it was like official. So
yeah, which thank God Tyler didn't win like both like the game and AFP. It's just like
that was
such an overrated
that would
player.
have made your head explode because you were so anti Tyler.
You guys talk amongst yourself. I'm going to look this up.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you, my 10 votes for AFP last year went to Caitlin Herman.
You just threw them away.
I tried to manifest that as much as I could.
Are you gonna manifest Nicole this year? You give it.
Let's see. I might throw some towards Christy, to be honest.
Don't do it. That's a waste. She has zero shot. Zero.
Hey, my vote is just as important as ever. I vote for Good TV. Like while Nicole is like really cute and endearing, like I'm very much so rooting for her. You can't argue with like Christy going like, I'm going up. Yeah, I'm going up, and telling like even like Jess when she went into the room, like the first thing she said to Jess was, I'm going up on the block. And Jess is like, what? Like you just can't argue with like that entertainment. Like that's shit like you can't even
don't fall for it. She's gonna come back again, so don't worry about it.
Of course, yeah. Well, the final two for Big Brother All Stars 2 is gonna be Christy and Caitlin, and I can't wait for it. I'm so excited.
That would be amazing.
The first boot will be Tyler.
Oh my gosh.
What a world that would be. I would love that.
What world are you living in?
Somebody's saying Derek won AFP in the game. That's not true. Donnie won AFP.
No, Donnie got it. Yeah, for
Donnie
17 or for 16.
16.
No.
I think they said the top 3 vote getters were Derek wasn't even in the top 3 because the top 3 was Donnie, Nicole, and Zach.
Yeah, that is true.
Remember Frankie Grande? He had that face.
Oh my God. He did not make the top 3.
One of my favorite Big Brother moments. And that was so great.
Yeah.
I'm so mad that we were robbed of like a big wide shot for Big Brother 19 when they announced that Cody was America's favorite player. Because like they like really zoomed in on Cody, so we didn't get to see like everybody's reaction. I would have loved to have seen like Alex, Raven, Matt, like just all of their reactions to Cody winning AFP.
Okay, so I'm trying to get into the cached pages for CBS to see what the terms and conditions and rules are. But okay, so it was Tyler didn't win, Cody, Nixon did not win, Victor didn't win, James was seated, My, how things changed after that, huh?
Donnie.
Donnie was 16.
15 was, wait,
15.
wait. 15 was.
What was it?
Judd?
No, I don't think it was Judd.
Huh?
Judd?
It was Alyssa.
Alyssa.
It was Alyssa.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Mhm.
14 was
Oh, I like
Frankie.
Alyssa.
14 was Brittany, of course.
It was Alyssa.
Yeah, no, I don't like Alyssa.
Yeah.
Oh, she's causing Twitter drama right now against Nicole, actually. 14 was Brittany. 13 was Jeff. 12 was
No. 14 was Frank Udy.
Oh,
It was.
another bad.
13 you already said was Jeff.
12 was Brittany.
12 was Brittany.
11 was Jeff.
No. 11 was Jeff.
10 was Keisha.
My favorite player of all time.
Keisha
Smith.
Yeah. What makes her your favorite?
Because she put up with so much shit in there and didn't back down, and she was strategic, but she wasn't devious about it. And I'm sorry, her voice cracked me up. And Keisha's birthday. How can you not love Keisha with Keisha's birthday?
It was so good. and of
9.
course, Sheila, or no, it was Crazy James.
Crazy James.
Yep. I don't think they had one for 8 because they had America's player, right?
Right.
7 was Janelle, of course.
Yep.
6 was Janelle, of course.
Yep.
5 was Diane.
5, I believe, was Diane.
God, I'm good.
Did they have it back then?
Huh? No. 3, 2, and 1 did not have AFP.
So 4. This is hard. Was 4 Jack?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Jack was for 4.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm like an encyclopedia of knowledge for this stuff.
I know. You make me sick.
Every America's favorite player.
Okay.
Sure, so,
15.
And,
but Alyssa's
and you
like
just,
the most forgettable person ever. So.
Okay, so you just went down the list. Not one of those won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think the only time that I'm trying to think if I even remember a final 3 where they included, where one of the final 3 in the voting was in the final, like Casey was not in the final 3 of the voting.
Mm-hmm.
Or, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Have to do more research.
Kim, did you know that Keisha and Rennie had a huge falling out and they don't speak to each other anymore?
I know, and it breaks my heart.
It breaks my heart too, because like one of my favorite Big Brother scenes ever was when Keisha and Rennie were in the kitchen, and Rennie's like, Keisha, I consider you my daughter now. I really love you, and this is what she said. She's like, I want you to be a mother. I want you to be a mother. I think you'll be really good at it, and I want that for you. I want that life for you. And it was just so sweet, and like I love their relationship so much. And Rennie is just so amazing. Maybe she'll be the winner of Big Brother All Stars too. We could only be so lucky.
I don't know. Rennie's living up the life down there in Nolans.
I know. Yeah. Oh, I'm shooting a wedding there in October. Maybe I should reach out to her.
You could.
She was supposed to be at the Big Brother premiere party, but I think her flight was delayed, right, Deb?
Yeah, I did think she showed up, but I think that we were leaving when she was coming. I was most excited to see her out of anybody at that party. Because I did see pictures of her and Michelle Costa, so she obviously showed up. So,
yeah. No, Keisha's one of them that I would love to meet, because I just she's an animal person, and she, she's got her relationships, and she's just, I always like Keisha.
I don't think she participates in any of the reality TV world.
No, but she came back last year when they had all the previous Big Brother guests that were there for the big group picture. Keisha was there.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. So she
looks good. I'm friends with her on Facebook. She does, yeah, very beautiful, very good casting. But I unless you guys had any more thoughts, I think that pretty much wraps it up for us.
Yeah.
I have no more thoughts at this point, though. I do have a question. At this point, who do you think wins the game?
Nicole, I'm all in.
Well, I went Nicole.
I'm pretty much all in with Nicole too, because I think they're going to underestimate her and take her, and she's going to kick their ass in jury votes. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, but she's got to get there. For all we know, Tommy might go snap. Yeah.
Before we go, can Kemi be in top 3 for AFP? Who do you guys think is the top 3 for AFP?
Kemi can win AFP. No pre-juror has ever won it, but Kemi, absolutely, anybody's eligible. And I think that she could probably be the highest pre-juror voting that we've seen.
I think I
would like.
Go ahead.
I would like to see her in the top 3, just to blow everybody's minds.
I think the top 3 will be. We'll say Nicole wins, and so she's not in the running. If she is in the running, then I think Nicole sweeps everybody for AFP. But let's say in a hypothetical world, fingers crossed, manifest this. Nicole wins. So I think the top 3 would be Cliff. Let us not forget that Nick won a America's Vote for the prankster. So I think
on purpose, that was a bad thing. He thought it was a good thing. It wasn't a good thing.
Well, people voted for him for it to be a good thing, though.
No. People voted for him to get Christy out.
Yes,
that's fair.
That was a shady vote on
that was a super shady vote.
So then maybe Cliff, Jackson, and
Jackson. No,
I think so. I think that he has some fans. Let's look at Joker's updates.
I think it's going to be Cliff, Kat, and
Tommy.
I think it's going to be Cliff, Kat, and Tommy if Nicole wins the game.
Top 3.
I think it'll be Cliff, Kat, and Tommy in top 3. But there's a lot of Kemi fans. That Kemi army is big out there. I could see her potentially sneaking into possibly the Cliff spot.
Well, loud fans doesn't always mean an abundance of fans is my argument.
She's got a lot. She's got a big fan base, and I could see Cliff potentially not making top 3 in order for Nicole, or I'm sorry, in order for Kemi to be in the top 3. But hands down, I think it's potentially either Kat or Tommy.
So the top 4 in Joker's updates right now, as it stands, are and people vote for these rankings every single day.
Right.
So it's Nicole, Cliff, Sam, and Kat in that order.
Ooh, Sam could potentially sneak in there.
I don't. Yeah.
Sam could. Sam really did not piss too many people off.
Yeah. I just would not vote for him, but I could see
wouldn't, but
yeah. I'm sending all my votes to Christy, so manifest that, bitches.
You're such an asshole.
So
stealing your votes.
Well, to that I say, look
taking
who's
away your keyboard.
The most important person on the screen right now. No, I'm kidding. So I think that wraps it up for us. We're all in on Nicole. We'll see who wins AFP. This is the last live feed updates show that we're doing. We'll be live on Thursdays for the evictions, and Allison will be here on Thursday to go over the finale schedule for us as well. I know we're still tossing some things back and forth for that because of course we have Survivor premiering that night as well, which we definitely will be doing a cast analysis for that. Super excited. The cast dropped. They look really, really great. I've heard on Rob Has a Podcast that this is one of the best casts that they've had, and this is the first cast casted by somebody other than Len Spillman. She would go from the show. So very excited to see how the casting will be different for this upcoming season of Survivor. But either way, we don't have to worry about that for season 40. So can't wait for both of these seasons of Survivor. So Kim,
I am too.
Where can we find you on the social medias?
You can find me right there.
There you go.
At Kim Matina, on Twitter, on Instagram, which I don't post on, so I'm really boring to follow there, and on Facebook, on all of them.
Perfect. And Deb, where can we find you?
At My Next Life, Debbie, DEBI on Twitter, and Deborah G on TVCO, and anywhere else I don't want you to find me.
And you can find me at T Lyons on Twitter and Instagram. And if casting is watching this, you can find me on Tinder.
If casting is watching, I'll be down at Legends Bar and Grill a little bit later on.
We're all going to go to the Texas A&M Bar and Grill. I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you for tuning in. We had a lot of engagement in the chat, so thank you guys for all of your opinions. Team Nicole all the way. So with that being said, have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.